So I have two tabs open here. The one that says intro is my server. The one over here on the right that says client is my client. So I'm going to use intro as my server. So my first step is we have to install netcat. NC is the netcat command, but you can see it's not found. So you're going to use sudo to run as root. And apt is how we install packages in Debian. And this should install netcat. Just got to put the right password in. All right, so that's going to do my update first. So it's going to update the packages, and then I'm going to install netcat. Oh, looks like I have to explicitly select one to install. So I think we're going to want netcat-traditional. Should install relatively quickly. And then once this is installed, we should be able to run the netcat command. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to listen. So the -L means listen. So it's gonna create a little listener on whatever port I tell it, and it's just a raw TCP listener. So it uses TCP. It's at the the most basic level, and I can just pass commands to it. And this is really used as a troubleshooting tool. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do with netcat. We might use it later on, but in other labs and things like that, you might use it. But let me go ahead and run that. So now, really, it looks like nothing happened, right? I hit enter. I just have a cursor that moved down. But now if I come to the client side, now on the client side, I also have to install netcat. So I'm going to have to use the sudo command. And I'm going to do an update first, just like I did on the first machine. And then once that update's done, I'm going to install netcat. And remember, I had to add -traditional because there was two different packages. Oh, whoops. I forgot the AL on the end. There we go. All right, so now it's installed, and I can use the netcat command similar to the other machine. Now on the other machine, I use -L, so it's listening on port 8080. On this side, I'm going to use the netcat command. I'm going to tell it to connect to intro. You could also use the IP address here. It could be the IP or the host name. And I'm going to tell it what port I want to connect to. And it says connection refused. Well, I think because we installed the traditional version of netcat, you have to use the -P switch to explicitly tell it what port. In the OpenBSD version, you didn't have to do that. In traditional, you do. So just make sure you put the -P before the port number, and that should bind it to that port. So now I'm bound to port 80. I can come over here, use that netcat command to connect to it. And you won't see anything happen yet, right? But over here on the client, as I start typing, this is a test, and I come over here, there's nothing there yet, but when I hit enter, it's going to send that string, and you can see it's over here, right? And then I can send something back, and it comes back. So we have a socket connection open between these two on port 8080. It's coming from the client, going into this intro server. And if you're not sure how to do it, it's Ctrl+C will kill that process. Also, you don't necessarily have to have it running in the foreground. I showed you this in my intro video for Linux. If you add the ampersand, it should push that to the background. And over here, once again, I can connect. Oops. And I'll type some stuff over here, and it should have interrupted. Yeah, there we go. See how it kind of interrupted and threw that text in there. And I can bring it back to the foreground by just typing FG and then the process number. In this case, it's 5. And I can type something to send a little message back. Again, you're going to hit Ctrl+C to kill the process once you're done testing this.